I see a lot of people using these fancy antivirus plugins, or not even checking for backdoors and stuff inside your game, or people that make this even harder to notice, making your workspace a total hell of ungrouped props or parts. So today I'm going to tell you some tips that no one really talks about. First of all, make sure to group or folder up things. It may sound like something that doesn't matter, but trust me, you are going to make everything simpler. This may sound like a non-important thing, but it really matters. Now let's get to the real thing. Tip number 1. Everyone gets models from the toolbox, but someone might put just a little bit of scripts that you never thought of their existence. ROBLOX have a warning that lets you know that what you're taking has scripts in it, but most of the people just check that "Don't show again" button, and you don't have to look at it. But never do that, because it literally tells you how much scripts there are in a model. Tip number 2. Almost never watch tutorials. Use forums instead. The tutorials might be helpful when starting something, but you actually just watch someone do something. In forums, you can search every problem you're facing, even a single error in your script. And instead of just taking a pre-made asset, you can search up someone that wanted the same thing and learn how to do it from scratch by reading all their discussion. And it doesn't end there. You can post your problem and others will find a solution for you. Tip number 3. Always use plugins. Usually people don't even know of this ROBLOX feature. But if you go on Toolbox and set the plugin category, you'll get tons of plugins. What they do is to do something for you, so you don't have to. They are very helpful when placing trees or spawning roads, but you need to have the right one. If you have the ability to create your own plugin for your own needs, it helps a lot when you have to repetitive actions over and over again. And I once stopped saying this: if you don't know how to make plugins, stick to the forums and not to YouTube tutorials. Tip number 4. Don't use antivirus plugins. Plugins are helpful, but not always. Those type of plugins work, and I appreciate them, but I think they aren't necessary. I'm saying this because ROBLOX already has a tool to find every malicious script in your game. You just have to press Ctrl, Shift, and F at the same time. When you do this, you'll get this thing. Now just search in the bar "require" and you'll get all the results. Now you just have to delete the scripts that have a number, that's the asset ID, inside the brackets, because it is running a script that is not inside your game, making it can do anything to your game. Remember that you don't have to delete the scripts that don't have a number inside the brackets. For example, require script.module script. Tip number 5. Always look at the output. The output is basically all the messages from your scripts, and it's very helpful because you know if a script has an error. To activate it, just go on View and Output. As example, I made this simple script. As you can see, if I touch the part, it tells my humanoid. But when a part touches it, it sends an error because the part doesn't have a humanoid in it. Tip number 6. Optimize your game. There are a lot of ways of doing this. Most of the memory comes from scripts, and that comes from the connections you have, so you need to disconnect connections when you don't need them. As example here, I changed the script so I have to touch and click the part. This is bad because it's going to create a connection every time the part is touched, and it's going to make a lot of lag. This is the optimized version. As you can see, it firstly checks with the cooldown if the code is already running. Then I used once instead of connect to automatically disconnect it when fired. In case it didn't disconnect, you can use connection disconnect to do so. And for model optimization, I suggest to mesh every complex union you have in-game, and that's it. That was all for today. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. If you have any suggestion for the next video, feel free to tell me in the comments.